They're our worst.
Ellie, where do we
Yeah.
start? I mean, absolutely
Oh
shambolic.
my God.
Tonight's performance for me lacked character, hunger, desire, ambition, commitment, teamwork. It was absolutely shocking, shambolic, and schoolboyish, if you want me to be
Yeah.
quite honest. What's your thoughts on tonight's 2-0 loss at Old Trafford?
Everything you just said there, David, reverse it and you'll see Man United have everything. They had hunger, they had desire, they pressed us, they hounded us, they didn't let us play. Not as if we can play our game, because we really haven't got an identity at the moment, have we? We're very fractured in our play. We haven't got no continuity. Even like when I see the other performances, you can take this little things that are good, but you can't, as a collective, we're not playing as a team, and we got found out tonight. We really did. They were
Yeah,
better in
no,
every single department.
every single department. They were better in the press, better winning the ball back, won every second
Yeah,
ball, better at passing the ball, used it more than
yeah.
us. They were better than us in every single department. But Ellie, is it acceptable for us to go to look? We know we have troubles at Old Trafford, right? It's the game, it's the ground where we've lost most games at, compared to any other
Yeah,
ground away in this league. And we know we have problems going there. This is the worst United team I've seen since I was born. I was born in 1991. Is it
yeah,
acceptable to see that sort of performance? Because like we were discussing beforehand, you can accept going down fighting, but you can't
yeah,
accept the manner we went down tonight.
yeah. When you see a player like Fred, who's no world beater, is he? And he's like going through our defence like
You
a
look like
knife through
Messi.
butter. He's going through our defence like a knife through butter,
Yeah.
David. And like he's getting the joy, and you can accept it from players like Fernandez. He's got the skill, he's got the whereabouts. But I don't know. We just lost our way. We started off quite well. We was getting at them, and we created quite a few chances, 3 or 4 chances we could have scored, but we didn't take them. They weren't like clear cut chances, but I was very disappointed in Perisic in particular, because he didn't offer us anything. You
Did
know,
Doherty offer anything over the other side? Do you think anything extra than what Perisic done?
only
Because for
only
me,
when he got into the box and he did that shot, he was sort of, he didn't really go forward a lot, did he? He tried his best defensively, but you could see the frailties in our defence are atrocious, especially
see,
with Dyer and Davis there. You can't rely on those two. Maybe last year Davis did step up, but this year you're seeing old Davis back to his normal self.
do you know what, Ellie? I completely agree with you, but I warned this was coming. We know under
Yeah,
Antonio Conte's system, Ashley Young has spoke about it, Gary Neville has spoke about it, along with loads of others. He will always come in and get you to have a good put in good performances underneath him, or you will not be at the club. But
yeah,
without mentally and physically demanding it, is some players just can't keep up with it. And I'm starting to see that in Dyer over the last few games, and I'm starting to see that in Davies. And I think you're absolutely spot on. But Ellie, what
yeah.
do we do now? Because the window's closed, no window open till January. What do we do? Does Langley have to come back in for Davies at least?
Yeah, I mean, Longleg, at least he can pass the ball, and he's pretty sound defensively, and he's got the fitness and the agility to get there, right? But these boys, they just haven't got the fitness or the agility. They got fanned out so big time,
Do
right?
you
And
think do you think they're struggling, Ellie, to keep up with Conte's physical and mental demands?
I when they say that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well,
Mm.
when the weak don't turn up, the weak never turn up, do they? Because they're the weak link in our team. And I feel sorry for Kane, because he's seen it for 7 years. He's been at the club, the poor boy. He's not won anything because of
Mm.
these klutzes in defence. I feel for him, because he really did try. He done one fantastic ball tonight. He done quite a few good passes, but that ball he did was the pass of the night. but it didn't lead to anything because we didn't have the whereabouts to go on and get a good cross across or even make a half chance for ourselves. It's just very disappointing. I was
Do you
so
know what? I actually felt sorry for Kane and Son tonight, if I'm being brutally honest. When
yeah,
they did get the ball, there's nobody up there. The wing backs are paying back. The central midfielders aren't busting their gut to get up there and help them. So they were completely
right,
isolated. But Ellie,
yeah,
many fans were calling for the 3-5-2. It has not worked. The wing backs were not good enough tonight. We know in the 3-5-2, especially in the 3-5-2, we
yeah,
need the creativity come from them. We also, the midfielders supposed to engage a lot higher up. It didn't happen. They sat back on the edge of our own box and done absolutely nothing. Like I said, Kane and Son were completely isolated in that formation, and the defence was a
yeah,
shambles. I mean,
yeah,
do we now have to scrap this whole idea of the 3-5-2, especially starting with it, and maybe use it as something we can we can we can use maybe to see out games? But do we have to scrap this 3-5-2 now? Because it look for me, it just doesn't work. We're nowhere near as creative in it as we are in the 3-4-3.
yeah. I think. Do you know what it was? I was talking to Dermot earlier on our show, and I said the 3-5-2 I prefer because that's the
Mm,
system I used to play in. But it only works if everybody's working together, But Basuma was like everything was bouncing off him. He never held the ball up at all. Hoybier was giving the ball away left, right, and centre. Um, and we just didn't get at them. We Every single department was failing.
yeah,
And like I said, the only one who could hold his head up high is Lloris because he made some worldy saves tonight. But I don't know. I don't even think it's the formation. I think it's the players. But
yeah,
like everybody's saying, if Kulu was playing in the 3-4-3, we would have done a lot better. But we played 3-4-3 with Kulu, and we've had performances like that. So I don't think it's formation. I just think it's our players. They're just not good enough on the ball. You
yeah.
know, we've seen it. We can't even string 3 or 4 passes together
No,
sometimes. You know, and we've got to work on our passing game because it's not good. Man United's passing game was far superior, and
yeah.
like they were on point tonight. It was like they had a point to prove. Well, not blow Arsenal away. Well, they really didn't blow Arsenal away. Arsenal played a lot better than them, but they blew us away like we weren't even there.
It's
It's just
disgraceful, if
very
I'm being honest.
disappointing.
It's absolutely disgraceful. But Ellie Conte was asked maybe about the reasons behind the 3-5-2. Also asked why he left it so late to make subs 80 minutes till he made the subs. His answer was with Kulizeski and Richarlison out injured, it was difficult to change the team. With Lucas and his tendon, we are trying not to push him too much. We don't want again as he had a
Mm.
setback 2 weeks ago. So I think we can all
Yeah,
understand and probably agree with the injuries in the front line. Maybe he was right to go with the 3-5-2, even though I believe he could have played Session on left wing back and put Perisic up in the forward areas. But look, regardless of system, though, Ellie, this simply just isn't good enough. You know,
no,
you can't keep blaming the system. We can't keep blaming managers because I hear people saying, "Oh, we've seen this under Nuno, we've seen this under Jose." Well, look how
yeah,
many of them players that started tonight have been there underneath these managers.
I
So
know.
it can't be the managers, it can't be the system. You're right, it's got to come down to the players tonight solely. It has to, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true. We just haven't got a baller. Someone who can put their foot on the ball and spring a pass or do that killer pass that's like visionary, and
Mm,
open up defences. You see, like Ericsson come on for 3 or 4 minutes. He done one brilliant pass, split our defence. We need somebody like that. Somebody like a Madison who can put his foot on the ball and also can score, and get us back into matches, right? Because if Kane and Sonny's not getting fed, how are they supposed to score? You know, um, it's just our general play, our passing is really bad. It's like
yeah.
3 or 4 passes, we can't even string them, and we
But
lose it.
let me ask you, Ellie. I get it, right? The style of play is extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
Should we be cautious of calling it out? Because when I look at that squad, it'd be nice to go and play full pressing football, be lovely on the ball. But we're sort of, do you think we're asking for the impossible when we've got players in the back line who physically just cannot play football? They're just not technically good. Our midfielders,
No.
especially Basuma today, absolutely useless. Anytime the ball comes into him, it's bouncing off him. Doherty,
Yeah.
comes inside, simple 5-yard pass, and he passes it to a United player. I
Oh.
mean, I know we can
And
sit here and moan about the style of play, but do we actually have the players to go out and play the way people want us to go and play? The famous Tottenham way? In my opinion, we don't. I think if we went and played that way, we'd get slapped up every single week. You there?
yeah. Right, I was
What
just
do you think?
saying the Dyer gets the ball, not even 5 yards, 3 or 4 yards, he's got to pass it and he kicks it off. I was screaming at my telly. I wanted to strangle him.
Yeah,
You can't, a footballer, you can't pass 3 or 4 yards. You kick it off. Ridiculous.
it's
But I mean,
it's
we must calm down though, because when you think about it, we're still in contention. It's just that we got to, now that Newcastle game is a big game because that, like, everybody's expecting to fall off the wagon there. We've got to bounce back, right? And I think if Kulu comes back, because he can hold the ball for us.
yeah,
Like Richarlison, however good he is with his skullduggery and his shit-assery and his pressing, he even can't control the ball
yeah.
sometimes. But we know 100% if you give it to Kulu, 9 times out of 10, he's controlling it and he's putting someone in because he's an intelligent footballer, you know. And we look a lot more cohesive when he's in the team. I know we had a stinker against Chelsea. It was a similar performance than we did tonight, but we scraped the 2-2 in that one.
Yeah.
We got. I wouldn't say we got lucky, but we fought a bit harder in that game. This game we just laid over and died.
They had to fight hard because it was a derby game. They
Yeah,
know the reaction they would have got, so that's why they didn't dare not give up the fight. But tonight was absolutely,
yeah.
utterly toothless, and it's unacceptable, and it really hurts actually the manner of it.
It
But Ellie, I
hurts.
see a
It
lot of
hurts your
fans
heart,
unhappy
doesn't
with
it?
it. Does it? It really hurts. It really hurts. I mean, I just want to go to bed now and forget about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
that's
Ellie,
what
I
I'm
see a
gonna
lot
do.
of
I'm
fans
in bed
unhappy with
now.
Antonio Conte this evening. What's your thoughts
Sorry, say
on
that
that?
again.
Ellie, I see a lot of fans I see a lot of fans unhappy with Antonio Conte this evening. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I don't blame him. I don't blame him one set. He was like screaming his head off, trying to get them motivated on the side. If anybody's got any passion, that man's got it in bundles. It's a pity that the players don't go on the pitch and actually portray what their manager wants.
Yeah.
I don't hold him responsible. All right, he did make some late substitutions, but when you look at our bench, he's very weak. What's he going to do to affect the game? He's got like Tanganga, Sanchez, Skip. Who? What are they going to do? They can't affect the game. The only one who could would be Brian Hill or Mora. But even them, they're like rusty. Mora's coming back from an injury, and Hill, he's had about 20 minutes play in his whole career at Spurs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He hasn't had much play time, has he? And then
No.
Spence, he's had about 10 minutes. And he's a
Yeah.
defender. He's a defender, really. All right, he's a right wing back, but primarily he's a defender.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I did like
But
a Spence tonight, though, Ellie? Do you know what I did like? The first time he got the ball, he fucking drove at players. And that's what I do like. Rather than Matt Doherty,
yeah,
who has all the space and time in the world and passes it inside.
yeah. I,
3 times I
I think
counted
Spence is
today
good.
when he had the
Yeah.
opportunity of crossing the ball in. He passed it back to Bentancur to let him do it, you know? And what I did admire
Yes.
about Spence, at least he had the confidence to actually run at United and try and make something happen.
Yeah. And
But
Sessegnon
Ellie,
on the other side as well. When he could
yeah,
have taken on his player and he passed it inside again.
100%.
Yeah. Disappointed.
But Ellie, we have really we have real big problems going away from home.
We do.
You know, two wins out of our last 8. What's the problem?
I just think we set up like we don't we get on the pitch right, and we want to do the right thing, but we just haven't got the players to do it. At White Hart Lane, our crowd pull us through. You know, the fans, they urge them on, so they step up a bit more at home, and they've got familiarity at home. You know, but away, it's just like we start good and then we just fade. Because I think we started quite well in the first 10, 15 minutes. We were in the game. You know, we was pressing good, and, you know, we created a few chances as well. But then it was just like we died a death.
Yeah.
Like they take their foot off the gas. Whereas at home, our crowd urge them to play better. You know, I just... It's a lot of games we've lost away, isn't it?
Just not good enough. They haven't all been losses. There's been a few draws in there, but simply put, it's just...
Well, West Ham and Chelsea, isn't it? We've drawn.
It really just is not good enough, simply
Forest
put.
we won.
Ellie,
but everybody's beating Forest. That's nothing to write home about.
No, it's not. It's nothing to write home about whatsoever. It's just like when people were saying, oh, well, you know, Sanchez, Dyer, Davies kept a clean sheet against Forest again. Not to write home about team that are going down.
Yeah.
But Ellie, look, we're going to leave it there. Massive thank you for coming on this fan cast. Really appreciate it. And
no problem. My pleasure. My pleasure,
hopefully
David.
We'll speak to you on the fan show on Friday, Ellie.
Okay.
Let's
see. Let's go and smash Newcastle now to give us a better week.
Yeah, we have to. We have to.